Hello, English learners. Welcome back. We are here at English Pod. I am joined with Erica.
And my partner in crime, Marco.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about a really great topic, one of my favorites.
Beer.
Beer. So beer is a very popular drink, especially in bars and when you go out.
Yes, it's very common with students, I think.
Yes. And it's also not very strong like a vodka or whiskey.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to be at a bar today and we're going to be looking at some of this vocabulary that you would find.
Yes, I mean, you've got to know this beer vocabulary.
Okay, so let's listen to our dialogue for the first time and then we'll come back and look at these words.
Hey man, what do you have on tap?
Heineken and Budweiser. We have a 2-for-1 happy hour special.
Cool. Give me a pint of Heineken and half a pint of Bud.
Okay. Pint of Heineken, half pint of Bud for table 6. What about some appetizers?
Sure. Let's have some nachos and mozzarella sticks.
Okay, that'll be $80.
What?
Well, it's pretty expensive for 2 beers and some food.
Yes. Well, it happens sometimes you go to these very exclusive bars and they charge you like if it was gold.
I mean, that's crazy.
Well, let's take a look at some of these great words that we saw in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Our first word is on tap.
On tap.
On tap.
So he asked, what do you have on tap? Now, this is a strange sentence. What exactly does it mean?
Okay, well, he's asking about what beers the bar has.
But not in a bottle or not in a can, right?
Right. So, in a bar, there's often this machine, right, that will pour very fresh beer right directly into the glass.
Into the glass. Yeah, this is a very popular thing because, like you say, it's fresh beer.
Yeah, it tastes better.
It tastes better.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you have on tap?
What do you have on tap?
All right, let's take a look at our second word. Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Now, this is very common and popular with bars.
Yes.
What is it when they have a happy hour?
Okay, a happy hour is a period of time where the drinks are very cheap.
Okay, so happy hour could be from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m., 50% off.
So if the drink is $4, then it is now $2 in happy hour.
Perfect. And this brings us to our third word, a special.
A special.
A special.
A special.
So this is a noun, and what does it mean when a restaurant or a bar has a special?
It's like they're having a sale.
A sale.
So things are cheaper.
So it could be, for example, a Monday night special.
Or, like in the dialogue, a happy hour special.
Okay. So it is a promotion.
Yes.
All right, very good. And now they ordered a pint of Heineken and half a pint of Budweiser. Pint.
This is a very, very special beer word. So a pint is the size of your glass.
Okay, so we understand how much a pint is. What would be the equivalent in liters?
A pint is 0.4 liters.
Okay, so almost half a liter
Yep.
is 1 pint.
Yes.
Okay. It is very common when you go into a bar, you can order a pint of beer.
Yes, exactly. In English, we don't say I'll have half a liter of beer.
Right. So let's take a look at our next word on Language Takeaway. Appetizers.
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 Okay, so what is an appetizer?
Well, it is food you eat before your dinner or before your lunch.
Okay, so it's usually maybe like a salad.
Or a soup, or something small that you can eat right before your big meal.
Okay, so some common appetizers at a bar, and we saw them in our dialogue. Nachos and mozzarella sticks.
Nachos. Nachos.
Nachos.
Nachos.
So nachos are little chips, right?
Yeah, corn chips. And it has cheese and maybe some tomatoes and maybe some beans.
Uh-huh. Okay, so those are nachos. They're very common in the United States.
Yes, yeah.
And what about mozzarella sticks?
Mozzarella sticks, a travesty on the world and humanity and everyone's arteries.
Well, mozzarella is a cheese, right? Mm-hmm. Mozzarella cheese. And this cheese is, what is it? How is it prepared?
You put it in some breadcrumbs and then you fry it in oil. You deep fry it.
Uh-huh. And you don't like this?
No, this is terrible.
Why? They're so good.
Oh my God.
Because then you can dip it in a little sauce and it's delicious.
Marco, there are so many reasons why this is wrong.
All right, well, mozzarella sticks, a very popular bar food.
All right, well, why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be able to hear these words in context at a slower speed.
Hey man, what do you have on tap?
Heineken and Budweiser. We have a 2-for-1 happy hour special.
Cool. Give me a pint of Heineken and half a pint of Bud.
Okay. Pint of Heineken, half pint of Bud for table 6. What about some appetizers?
Sure. Let's have some nachos and mozzarella sticks.
Okay, that'll be $80.
What?
Okay, so we saw some really good vocabulary words there, and now let's take a look at putting it together.
Putting it together.
Well, in this lesson, we are going to look at one phrase that sometimes causes problems.
So let's listen to this phrase that we're talking about.
What about some appetizers? What about some appetizers?
Okay, so this phrase, what about?
Yeah, I often hear people use it to ask a question.
So a common mistake is asking, what about your weekend?
What about your new job?
Now, this is incorrect, right?
You cannot use the phrase what about to ask a question about information. So it cannot ask for information.
Okay, because in our dialogue, the bartender said, and what about some appetizers?
Right, because he is making a suggestion.
Right, so he's saying, well, why don't you have some food?
Yes, the phrase what about can be used to make a suggestion.
Okay, so I can say, what about going to the movies?
You know what? Let's hear a few more examples of this because I think it's really useful.
Example 1. What about these dirty clothes? You said you would wash them days ago. Example 2. What about going to the mall instead? I'm tired of going to the movies. Example 3. What about a pizza instead of noodles?
All right, so really good examples, and the same thing we can apply to how about.
Exactly. So again, how about cannot ask for information.
Okay.
So you can't say how about your boss.
All right,
Yep.
perfect. Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue one last time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about bars and beers.
Hey man, what do you have on tap?
Heineken and Budweiser. We have a 2-for-1 happy hour special.
Cool. Give me a pint of Heineken and half a pint of Bud.
Okay. Pint of Heineken, half pint of Bud for table 6. What about some appetizers?
Sure. Let's have some nachos and mozzarella sticks.
Okay, that'll be $80.
What?
Well, Marco, I know you're a big fan of beer, and actually I think everyone here at Praxis is a big beer drinker.
And this is the perfect opportunity to tell everyone about the world-renowned beer shake.
Oh my God. Okay, Marco.
All right, so everyone that listens to this recipe is a non-believer. They say that it is not possible for it to taste good.
Okay.
But here's the recipe. You take a liter of beer, or maybe half a liter,
So a pint.
a pint or a pint and a half, and you put it in the blender.
Okay.
All right. Now you take 2 eggs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, not cooked, not boiled, anything. You take 2 eggs and put them in the blender. It could be 1 or 2.
Okay.
And then you take about half a cup of sugar, put it in the blender.
What?
And you mix all that together and you get this really good, foamy, delicious beer shake.
So a beer milkshake.
Well, it has no milk.
Okay.
But it's actually really good. I've prepared it for some people. They're like, no, that's not possible. It can't taste good. And in the end, they're like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
So did you invent this recipe?
It's actually really common in Ecuador, in Peru. I've even seen it in Chile, usually with a dark beer,
Okay.
right?
So like a Guinness or...
it could be a Guinness or, yeah, if it's that, a dark beer is a little bit sweeter,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't add so much sugar. But if you have another beer like a lager or a stout, you could still do it, but just add a little bit more sugar because that beer is a little bit more bitter.
Okay. Well, I am not going to try this recipe, but maybe you guys are.
You should. Try it out and let me know how it works.
Bars and pubs are places where people go to relax, meet friends, and enjoy drinks or snacks. These places are also full of useful English expressions that you can hear and use in real life. Whether you're ordering a drink, talking to the bartender, or just having a good time with someone, learning the language used in bars helps you sound more natural and confident in English. When you walk into a bar, you'll usually see a long counter with bar stools and bottles behind it. That's where the bartender works. The bartender is the person who serves drinks. You might also hear people say barman or barmaid, but bartender works for any gender and is more common in modern English. When you want to order something, you go up to the bar and wait until the bartender is ready. A simple and polite way to order is to say, "Can I get a beer, please?" Or "I'll have a glass of red wine." These are casual and friendly phrases that sound natural. There are many kinds of beer, and it helps to know how to ask for what you want. For example, you can ask for a pint or a half pint. A pint is a large glass, and a half pint is smaller. In British-style pubs, people often say, "A pint of lager, please," or "half a pint of bitter." In American bars, it's more common to say, "I'll take a draft beer," or "What's on tap?" On tap means beer that is poured from a keg, not from a bottle. So, if you like fresh beer, you can say, "What do you have on tap?" Some people prefer bottled drinks. You can say, "Do you have this in a bottle?" Or, "I'll take a bottle of light beer." If you want your beer very cold, you could say, "Can I have it chilled?" Or, "Is it served cold?" These small phrases show you understand how to order like a native speaker. When ordering more than one drink, it's useful to know how to include others. For example, "Can I get 2 pints of lager and a glass of wine?" Or 3 beers and a cider, please. A cider is a drink made from apples. In bars, it usually means alcoholic cider, not apple juice. If you want something without alcohol, just ask for a soft drink. You can say, "I'll have a cola," or "Can I get a soda with ice?" Soft drink is the general word for any non-alcoholic drink like soda, juice, or water. If you don't want ice, you can say, "No ice, please." If you're the one driving, you might say, "I'm the designated driver. Just water for me." At some bars, the bartender might ask, "Would you like to start a tab?" A tab is a record of what you order, and you pay for everything at the end. You can answer, "Yes, please." "Can I put it under John?" Or, "No, I'll pay as I go." If you're in a group, someone might say, "Let's split the bill," or "This round is on me." A round means one set of drinks for everyone. Knowing how to order, ask questions, and respond politely helps you enjoy your time without confusion. You don't need to drink to enjoy a bar. Sometimes just knowing the language and joining the moment is enough to make you feel part of the crowd. And that's what learning English is all about, being able to join in and connect with others. Once you've ordered your drink at the bar, there are more useful expressions and vocabulary to help you enjoy the experience and talk like a local. Bars are not just about drinks. They're full of conversations, music, small talk, and social moments. Learning the right words helps you not only understand others, but also join in naturally. When you're waiting for your drink, the bartender might say, "Coming right up," or "Just a minute." These are polite ways to say the drink is being prepared. If the bar is busy, they might say it'll be a few minutes. Being patient and polite goes a long way. A simple thanks or cheers is a great way to be friendly. Sometimes you want to change your order or ask about the menu. You can say, actually, can I change that to a cider? Or, do you have any local beers? The phrase actually is often used to correct or adjust something politely. You can also ask, what do you recommend? Or what's popular tonight? These questions show interest and often lead to a friendly chat with the bartender. Many bars also serve food, like snacks, small plates, or full meals. These are often called bar food or pub rub. Common items include fries, wings, burgers, or nachos. You can ask, do you serve food here? Or can I see the food menu? If you want something small, try saying, I'll have a snack, or what do you have for appetizers? Appetizers are small dishes served before a meal, or just to share with drinks. Sometimes you'll see a happy hour sign. Happy hour means there's a special time, usually in the late afternoon or early evening, when drinks and food are cheaper. You might hear, happy hour ends at 6, or these drinks are half price until 7. This is a good chance to try something new or enjoy more for less. When you're at the table with friends or meeting new people, there are many casual expressions used. One of the most common is cheers. People say this when they raise their glass before drinking. It's like saying, to your health, or let's enjoy this moment. You can clink your glasses and say, cheers, with a smile. It's a simple but friendly gesture that brings people together. You might also hear, here's to good times, or let's toast your new job. These are short speeches made before drinking. To toast means to celebrate someone or something. It's very common at birthdays, weddings, or any special gathering. Sometimes, someone might offer to buy you a drink. They might say, can I get you something? Or let me buy you a drink. It's polite to respond with, that's kind of you, or thank you. I'd like a beer, please. If you don't want to drink, a polite answer is, thanks, but I'm good for now. In casual conversations at a bar, people often use small talk. They might ask, so what do you do? Or is this your first time here? These are friendly ways to start talking. You can respond with short, simple answers and then ask something back. Try, I work in IT. How about you? Or yes, it's my first time. Do you come here often? Bars and pubs are social places. They give you a chance to practice natural English, meet people, and listen to real conversations. Even if you don't talk a lot, just understanding what's going on around you can help you feel more confident and connected. The more you learn these real-life expressions, the more comfortable and prepared you'll be anywhere in the English-speaking world. Bars often play music, host events, or show sports games, which gives you more chances to learn real-world English. Whether you're enjoying a band, watching a match, or just hanging out with others, these situations bring new phrases and expressions that are fun and useful to know. Let's begin with music nights. Some bars have live music where a band or a singer performs. If you're at a place like this, you might hear someone say, there's a great band playing tonight, or the music starts at 9. You can ask, is there a cover charge? A cover charge means a small fee to enter. If there's no fee, the bartender might say, no cover tonight. During the performance, people often talk in low voices to not disturb others. If someone is too loud, you might hear, hey, keep it down, or let's step outside to talk. These are polite ways to ask for quiet or to continue a conversation in a better spot. Another common feature at bars is a sports night. Big games like football, basketball, or boxing are often shown on large screens. You might hear phrases like, the game is about to start, we've got front row seats at the bar, or do you support this team? Sports bring people together, and you can practice talking about the game using simple sentences like, that was a great goal, or they're playing really well tonight. Sometimes bars have quiz nights or trivia nights. These are fun events where people answer questions in teams. You might hear, want to join our team? Or, let's try the next question. You can also say, I know this one, or I think the answer is B. These nights are great for meeting new people and using your English in a friendly, relaxed way. Another common activity in bars is playing games like darts, pool, or board games. You can ask, can we use the dartboard? Or is the pool table free? If you don't know how to play, you could say, can you show me how it works? Or, I'm just watching this time. People are usually happy to help or explain the rules. In noisy places, it's helpful to know how to ask someone to repeat something. Use phrases like, sorry, I didn't catch that, or can you say that again? Or even it's loud in here, what did you say? These are polite and natural ways to stay in the conversation. Bars also have a special way of describing the atmosphere. You might hear people say, this place has a chill vibe, which means it's calm and relaxed. Or, it's packed tonight, meaning the bar is full of people. Other phrases include, it's lively, there's a good crowd, or it's kind of dead tonight, which means not many people are there. When ordering food or drinks during a busy night, the bartender might say, give me a sec, which means wait a moment. You might reply with, take your time, or no rush. These small phrases help keep things polite and easygoing. Understanding these casual and friendly expressions helps you feel more connected to the experience. It's not just about drinks or snacks. It's about being part of the energy, the people, and the conversation. The more you learn to speak naturally in these situations, the more confident and fluent you'll become. And that confidence can grow with every simple moment, whether it's enjoying music, watching a game, or just saying cheers. Sometimes when you're at a bar, things don't always go smoothly. Maybe your order is wrong, the drink doesn't taste right, or the music is too loud. These are real situations, and knowing how to handle them politely and clearly in English can make you feel more comfortable and in control. Let's say the bartender gives you the wrong drink. You can say, sorry, I think this isn't what I ordered, or I asked for a cola, not a beer. These phrases are polite but clear. You don't need to sound angry, just calm and direct. Most of the time, the bartender will respond with something like, oh, sorry about that, or let me fix that for you. If the drink doesn't taste right, you can say, this tastes a bit off, or it's a little too strong for me. Can I get something else? These kinds of sentences help you express your thoughts respectfully. It's better to speak up than to stay silent and be unhappy with your order. Sometimes the bar is too noisy and it's hard to hear your friend. You can say, it's hard to talk in here, or let's move to a quieter spot. You might also hear someone say, let's go outside for some air, especially if the place is very crowded or loud. These are normal, everyday phrases that people use when the environment becomes uncomfortable. If someone is being rude or bothering you, it's important to be firm but polite. You can say, please don't do that, or I'd like to be left alone. If the situation feels unsafe, find a bartender or a staff member and say, excuse me, can I talk to you for a second? Or, I'm having a problem. Can you help? Staff in bars are usually trained to handle these situations and keep everyone safe. Another issue that sometimes happens is confusion about the bill. If you're paying and something doesn't look right, you can say, I think there's a mistake on the bill, or can we go over the check together? A bill or check is the list of everything you ordered. You can also ask, is the tip included? In some countries, tipping is expected. In others, it's already part of the bill. Knowing how to ask helps avoid confusion. If you want to leave a tip, the most common way to do it is to say, keep the change, or to leave a few extra coins or notes. In English-speaking countries like the US, it's normal to leave around 15 to 20%. In the UK or Australia, tipping is more flexible, and it's often done for great service, not as a rule. Sometimes you're not sure what a word on the menu means. You can ask, what's that? Or can you explain this dish? If something on the drink list sounds unfamiliar, you can say, what's in that cocktail? Or is this sweet or strong? Asking questions like these not only helps you understand better, but also shows that you're learning and interested. You might also feel unsure about how to behave. If you want to check if something is okay, use phrases like, is it okay if I sit here? Or, do you mind if I take this chair? These expressions are very polite and useful in social situations where space or seats are shared. Bars are great places for learning because they give you so many chances to listen, speak, and interact. Mistakes and surprises will happen, but with the right words, you can handle them calmly and confidently. And every time you speak up, ask a question, or fix a small problem in English, you're making progress and becoming stronger in both language and life. There are times when a night at the bar turns into a deeper experience. Not just drinks and music, but real conversations and connections. This is where your English skills can really shine. When you're able to express your thoughts, understand others, and respond naturally, the whole experience becomes richer and more enjoyable. You might find yourself in a quiet corner of the bar, talking with someone about work, travel, or life. These are perfect chances to practice small talk, short, casual conversations that help people get to know each other. Some good starters are, what do you do for a living? Or have you lived here long? These are polite ways to begin. You can follow up with things like, that sounds interesting, or tell me more about that. If someone shares something personal, it's nice to respond in a kind way. For example, if they say, I just moved here, you could say, that must be exciting, or how are you finding it so far? Showing interest in the other person makes the conversation flow more easily. These moments help build confidence and give you more practice with real, everyday English. Sometimes people talk about culture, music, movies, or food. You might hear, what kind of music do you like? Or have you seen that new movie? These questions are friendly and common. You can answer with, I love pop music, or I saw it last week. It was great. Adding your opinion, like, it was a bit too long for me, or I like the ending, shows that you're engaged and expressive. You may also hear some common idioms or casual expressions. For example, I'm just here to unwind, means to relax. It's been a long week, means the person had a busy or stressful time. I needed this night out, means they're happy to be social. Understanding and using these types of phrases make your English sound more natural and real. Sometimes people at bars share stories, funny, strange, or even emotional ones. When someone tells a story, you can respond with phrases like, no way, that's crazy, seriously, or what happened next. These reactions are simple but powerful. They show that you're following the story and enjoying it. There might be moments when the bar gets quiet and you just enjoy the music or the mood. You don't always have to talk, but when you do, knowing how to say what you feel can be helpful. You can say, this place has a nice atmosphere, or I like the vibe here. Words like vibe or atmosphere describe the feeling of the place. If it's calm, exciting, warm, or fun. Before you leave, you might want to say something polite or friendly to the bartender or someone you met. Phrases like, thanks for the great service, or it was nice talking to you, are simple ways to end things positively. If you want to meet again, you can say, do you come here often? Or maybe I'll see you around. Spending time in a bar is not only about drinks or food. It's about communication, social life, and real experiences. It's a classroom without walls, where every sound, every question, every laugh is a chance to learn. The more you open yourself to these moments, the more you'll grow in confidence and skill. Language isn't just in books. It lives in places like this, where people come together. So when you step into a bar and start speaking English, you're not just ordering a drink. You're joining a community, sharing a moment, and building your voice in a new language. And that's something to be proud of. There's something special about using English in real-life situations, especially in places like bars and pubs. It's not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about connection. Every time you ask for a drink, join a conversation, or share a laugh with someone new, you're building your confidence and becoming more fluent in the language. Some of the most powerful learning moments happen when you least expect them. Maybe someone compliments your accent and says, your English is really good. Or maybe you make a mistake and everyone laughs kindly, and you laugh too. These are moments of real growth, when language becomes part of who you are, not just something you study. Being in a bar can teach you many soft skills, too. You learn how to read body language, how to speak louder in noisy places, how to stay polite even when you're tired, and how to listen closely when someone is speaking quickly or using slang. All of these things help you become not just a better speaker, but a better communicator. It's also a chance to learn about culture. For example, in some places, people like to stand and chat. In others, they sit quietly with their own group. Some bars are loud and full of energy. Others are peaceful and calm. You learn to notice these differences and you adjust. That's a big part of language learning, understanding the world behind the words. You might also learn about drinking customs, how tipping works, or what people usually talk about in social settings. These are things you can't learn just from books. They come from experience, from being there, listening, and trying. Even just listening to the music, watching people order, or reading the menu helps you grow. Remember, confidence doesn't come all at once. It comes from many small steps. Saying, "Can I get a beer, please?" might seem like a small thing, but it's a big win if you've never said it in English before. Understanding a joke or telling a short story to a stranger is a huge achievement. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Every visit to a bar or social place becomes part of your language journey. You learn new expressions, build your fluency, and gain courage. And slowly, you stop thinking so much about English. You just use it. That's when language becomes real. That's when it becomes yours. Learning English is not only about speaking well. It's about feeling free to be yourself in another language. Whether you're at a bar, a cafe, or a street market, you can connect, express, and belong. And that's the true beauty of learning a new language.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Beer served from a barrel, not in a bottle or can.
On tap.
Buy one and take one free.
2 for 1.
A period of time at a bar when drinks are sold cheaper than usual.
Happy hour.
A sale, a special price.
Special.
A measuring unit which is equal to 0.473 liters.
Pint.
A small dish served before a meal.
Appetizer.
A dish with tortilla chips and melted cheese cooked together.
Nachos.
Fried Italian cheese.
Null.
Dollar, informal.
Buck.
Alcoholic drink made from one or more liqueur and other ingredients.
Cocktail.
A relaxed casual bar where beer is served.
Pub.
A menu or list of drinks served in a restaurant or bar.
Drinks list.
Strong alcohol drink, such as gin, rum, vodka, etc.
Liquor.
A chair with no back used for sitting on at a bar.
Bar stool.
Let's try that faster.
Beer served from a barrel, not in a bottle or can.
On tap.
Strong alcohol drink, such as gin, rum, vodka, etc.
Liquor.
A dish with tortilla chips and melted cheese cooked together.
Nachos.
Alcoholic drink made from one or more liqueur and other ingredients.
Cocktail.
A menu or list of drinks served in a restaurant or bar.
Drinks list.
A measuring unit which is equal to 0.473 liters.
Pint.
Fried Italian cheese.
Null.
Dollar, informal.
Buck.
A small dish served before a meal.
Appetizer.
A sale, a special price.
Special.
Buy one and take one free.
2 for 1.
A period of time at a bar when drinks are sold cheaper than usual.
Happy hour.
A chair with no back used for sitting on at a bar.
Bar stool.
A relaxed casual bar where beer is served.
Pub.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
On tap. We have 4 types of beer on tap. On tap. What's on tap? On tap. We don't have any beer on tap.
Special.
Do you have a happy hour special?
Special.
I'll have the lunch special.
Special.
Can we have the 2-for-1 special? If you can't drink coffee, what about a cup of tea? My computer can't connect to the internet. What about yours? I'm quite busy in the afternoon. What about tomorrow?
Appetizer.
Would you like to start with some appetizers?
Appetizer.
What appetizers do you have?
Appetizer.
There aren't that many appetizers on the menu.
2 for 1.
All shirts are now 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
We're having a 2 for 1 sale.
2 for 1.
The store is having a 2 for 1 sale.
It was a warm Friday evening, and the city streets were alive with the sound of laughter and music. I had just finished a long week of work, and I decided to treat myself to something relaxing. A friend had recommended a small bar in the old part of town, a place famous for its cozy atmosphere and fresh beer served straight from the tap. I had never been there before, so I thought it would be the perfect way to end the week. When I walked in, the smell of warm food and the soft hum of conversation made me feel instantly comfortable. The walls were decorated with old photographs of people enjoying drinks, and the dim golden lights gave the whole room a friendly glow. I found a seat at the wooden bar counter, and the bartender, a man in his 40s with a kind smile, came over. He asked me a question I had heard before but never really thought about. "What do you have on tap?" That phrase caught my attention. In that moment, I remembered that on tap means beer served directly from a barrel, not from a bottle or can. It's fresh, and many people say it tastes better. I looked at the shiny silver taps lined up behind the bar, each with a small label, Heineken, Budweiser, Guinness, and a local craft beer I had never tried before. I decided to order a pint of the local beer. A pint, I learned long ago, is about 0.47 liters, almost half a liter. In English, people usually say a pint instead of half a liter because it sounds more natural in bars. The bartender pulled the handle, and golden beer flowed smoothly into the glass, forming a thick layer of foam on top. As I took my first sip, I noticed the rich, slightly fruity flavor. It was refreshing and smooth, perfect for a relaxed evening. Then, the bartender mentioned something else. "We've got a happy hour special until 8 o'clock. I knew happy hour meant a time when drinks are cheaper than usual, often to attract customers early in the evening. The phrase special here meant a promotional offer, in this case, 2 drinks for the price of 1. I smiled to myself, thinking how these phrases, on tap, happy hour, special, and pint, are more than just words. They are part of the real English people use in daily life, especially in social places like bars and restaurants. Knowing them makes you feel more confident and connected when you're out enjoying life. I took another sip and leaned back, enjoying the atmosphere, ready to explore more of what this little bar had to offer. The bar was getting busier as more people came in, filling the air with the sound of conversations and soft background music. I noticed a small chalkboard on the wall listing the appetizers of the day. The word appetizer had always been interesting to me. It means a small dish served before your main meal, something to start your appetite. In many bars, appetizers are the perfect companion to a drink. The bartender caught my eye and said, "What about some appetizers?" That phrase, "what about," was another useful piece of English. Here, it wasn't a question asking for information. It was a suggestion. He was offering me an idea, inviting me to think about ordering food. I had learned that what about and how about are often used to make suggestions, not to ask for facts. For example, what about going for a walk? Or how about watching a movie? I looked at the chalkboard again. Nachos and mozzarella sticks were at the top of the list. I had eaten nachos before, crispy corn chips covered with melted cheese, sometimes with tomatoes, beans, or jalapenos. They are warm, crunchy, and a little salty, perfect to enjoy with a cold beer. Mozzarella sticks, on the other hand, were something I discovered only after moving to a city with more international food. They're made by coating pieces of mozzarella cheese in breadcrumbs and then deep frying them until golden and crispy on the outside, with soft, melted cheese inside. I decided to order both. Soon, the bartender brought a plate of nachos, with the cheese stretching as I picked up a chip, and a basket of mozzarella sticks with a small bowl of tomato sauce for dipping. The smell was irresistible. As I enjoyed my food, I thought about how useful it is to know the right words when ordering in English. If you want to sound natural, you don't just say small food before meal, you say appetizer. If you want to ask about suggestions for food, you can say, "What about some appetizers?" These phrases make the experience smoother and help you connect with people around you. The music grew a little louder, and the bar filled with laughter. My table had a pint of beer, a plate of nachos and mozzarella sticks, and I felt like I was living a small, perfect moment, learning, eating, and enjoying the lively energy of the night. The evening carried on, and I found myself watching the way the bar worked. The bartender moved quickly, pouring beers, mixing cocktails, and sliding drinks across the counter with practiced ease. Behind him, a large drinks list hung on the wall. It wasn't just for beer, it included cocktails, liquors, and non-alcoholic options too. The word liquor caught my attention. It refers to strong alcoholic drinks like vodka, rum, gin, or whiskey. These are much stronger than beer and usually served in smaller glasses. Next to the liquor section, I saw cocktails, drinks made by mixing liquor with other ingredients like fruit juice, soda, or cream. A margarita, for example, is a cocktail made with tequila, lime juice, and triple section. People were ordering all kinds of drinks, and I noticed how naturally they used bar vocabulary. A man next to me asked for a pint of Guinness, without even looking at the menu. Another woman ordered a gin and tonic, and the bartender nodded without asking further questions. It made me realize that knowing the right drink names and sizes in English can save time and make you sound more confident. I also noticed something interesting. The seating at the bar included high stools without backs. In English, these are called bar stools. It's a simple word, but if you're learning English, it's better to know it instead of trying to describe it as a tall chair without a back. Little details like this can help you speak more fluently. A couple sat down beside me, and the bartender greeted them warmly. "We've got a 2-for-1 special tonight," he said. That phrase, 2-for-1, is another useful expression. It means you pay for one item, but get two. Many bars and restaurants use it to encourage people to order more, and it's common during happy hour. I thought about how many of these phrases I had heard that night. On tap, happy hour, special, pint, appetizer, nachos, mozzarella sticks, liquor, cocktail, bar stool, 2 for 1. Each one wasn't just a vocabulary word, it was part of a living language used in a real environment. As I took another sip of my beer, I realized that a night at a bar can be more than just fun. It can be a chance to listen, learn, and practice English in a natural and enjoyable way. Every sound, every order, every small exchange between people was like a little language lesson happening right in front of me. After finishing my first pint, I decided to try something different. The bartender recommended a dark beer, explaining that it had a richer, slightly sweeter taste than the golden lager I'd been drinking earlier. I agreed, and soon a deep brown pint was placed in front of me, with a creamy foam that looked almost like coffee. While I was enjoying the new flavor, the bartender leaned closer and said, "You know, some people make a beer shake with this." At first, I thought I had misheard him. A beer shake? I imagined something like a milkshake, but with beer instead of milk. He laughed at my expression and began to explain. The recipe was surprisingly simple: a pint of beer, 1 or 2 raw eggs, and half a cup of sugar. You put them all into a blender and mix until the liquid becomes light and foamy. According to him, the result is a sweet, smooth drink that people in places like Ecuador, Peru, and Chile sometimes enjoy, especially with dark beer. If the beer is already sweet, you add less sugar. If it's more bitter, you add a bit more. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to try it, but it fascinated me. This was more than just a drink. It was a small piece of cultural knowledge. Food and drink vocabulary isn't just about words. It's about the traditions, habits, and little surprises that come with them. If someone ever offered me a beer shake in the future, at least I'd know exactly what it meant. While the bartender was talking, I noticed that the people around me were relaxed and open. Bars, I realized, are great places to learn natural English because the environment encourages small talk. You hear suggestions like, "What about trying this?" Or, "How about sharing some fries?" You hear casual words like bucks instead of dollars when talking about prices. Someone behind me paid for their drinks and said, $80 for 2 beers and snacks? That's crazy. It made me think about how common it is in English to use buck for $1 in informal situations. Little things like this make your English sound more natural. I sat back with my dark beer, listening to the lively background noise. Between the clinking glasses, bursts of laughter, and the hum of conversation, I felt like I was part of something, learning, enjoying, and collecting real-life English in the most unexpected way. The night grew later, but the bar's energy stayed alive. People came and went, each adding their own voices to the warm, constant buzz of conversation. My table was still a comfortable spot, giving me the perfect view of everything happening around me. At one end of the bar, a group of friends was sharing a plate of nachos, laughing every time the cheese stretched too far. At another table, 2 people were sitting close together, leaning in to hear each other over the music. A few regulars sat on their usual bar stools, chatting with the bartender like old friends. I thought about how many small but useful English expressions I had heard that evening. Phrases like "on tap" for fresh beer, "happy hour" for a time when drinks are cheaper, 2 for 1 for a buy one get one deal, and "special" for a limited time offer. Words like appetizer, pint, nachos, mozzarella sticks, cocktail, liquor, and buck all fit naturally into the conversations around me. None of them felt like textbook vocabulary. They were part of living, breathing English. It struck me that learning a language isn't just about studying grammar or memorizing lists of words. It's about being in real situations, listening to how people talk, and noticing how words are used in everyday life. A bar might not be a traditional classroom, but that night it became one for me. When I finally finished my drink, I left a few bucks on the counter for the bartender and stood up. The cool night air met me as I stepped outside, carrying with me not just the memory of good food and drink, but also the feeling of having learned something valuable. Sometimes, the best English lessons happen in the most unexpected places.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Beer served from a barrel, not in a bottle or can.
On tap.
Buy one and take one free. 2 for 1. A period of time at a bar when drinks are sold cheaper than usual. Happy hour. A sale, a special price. Special. A measuring unit which is equal to 0.473 liters. Pint. A small dish served before a meal. Appetizer. A dish with tortilla chips and melted cheese cooked together. Nachos. Fried Italian cheese. Null. Dollar. Informal. Buck. Alcoholic drink made from one or more liqueur and other ingredients. Cocktail. A relaxed casual bar where beer is served.
Pub.
A menu or list of drinks served in a restaurant or bar.
Drinks list.
Strong alcohol drink, such as gin, rum, vodka, etc.
Liquor.
A chair with no back used for sitting on at a bar.
Bar stool.
Let's try that faster.
Beer served from a barrel, not in a bottle or can.
On tap.
Strong alcohol drink, such as gin, rum, vodka, etc.
Liquor.
A dish with tortilla chips and melted cheese cooked together. Nachos. Alcoholic drink made from one or more liqueur and other ingredients. Cocktail. A menu or list of drinks served in a restaurant or bar.
Drinks list.
A measuring unit which is equal to 0.473 liters. Pint. Fried Italian cheese. Null. Dollar. Informal. Buck. A small dish served before a meal. Appetizer. A sale, a special price. Special. Buy one and take one free. 2 for 1. A period of time at a bar when drinks are sold cheaper than usual. Happy hour. A chair with no back used for sitting on at a bar.
Bar stool.
A relaxed casual bar where beer is served.
Pub.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
On tap. We have 4 types of beer on tap. On tap. What's on tap? On tap. We don't have any beer on tap.
Special.
Do you have a happy hour special?
Special.
I'll have the lunch special.
Special.
Can we have the 2 for 1 special? If you can't drink coffee, what about a cup of tea? My computer can't connect to the internet. What about yours? I'm quite busy in the afternoon. What about tomorrow?
Appetizer.
Would you like to start with some appetizers?
Appetizer.
What appetizers do you have?
Appetizer.
There aren't that many appetizers on the menu.
2 for 1.
All shirts are now 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
We're having a 2 for 1 sale.
2 for 1.
The store is having a 2 for 1 sale.